Alright, so this is a little bit of a chaotic setup, but I thought that I would show the Halloween stuff that I've gotten so far this year, since I've already got quite a bit of stuff, so let's just get right on into it. So this was a thing from At Home. I guess we're just gonna do the At Home stuff first. And this is a little tombstone. Is there a price on here? No, I took it off. It says rest in pieces. This was a thing that I saw. I can't remember if it was like on their website or I saw some other people showing it and coming into their stores, and I thought it looked interesting. I like the like bones down here at the bottom. Just a nice classic tombstone. And it just stands up like that. We'll just move on in this direction, just right to left, I guess. This was a thing that I saw that this was like the thing I saw that I'm like, oh, that, I really would like that. That looks super cool. It's kind of funny, it says welcome down here. But it's this, like, Grim Reaper, hooded wraith figure, fallen angel kind of like cemetery statue with holding this skull in these robes and like with a little skeleton foot sticking out there, and then this just very like cemetery angel looking piece here with these, like, at various points. This commentary is awful, I'm sorry, this is the first video I'm doing this evening, and I have an itch on my nose, wonderful, very professional, but like at various points there's like a bit of moss looking, like coloring on here. It kind of has that like weathered type look. I'm trying out a new thing with the lighting. I was hoping maybe you'd be able to see it a little bit better. Because the other lighting setup I was thinking about doing, I'm like, you're not going to be able to see the stuff in good light. And that's like the entire point of this. So, anyway, this is a thing that I'm super happy with. I love the draping of the garment here. I really like these like cemetery angel type statues. I really like this is like a creepy one. Like super clearly, like it's not just like, well, it kind of is creepy, but it's not like super clearly meant to be creepy. Like this is obviously supposed to be. It's got the skull, it's an angel, but it's also like a Grim Reaper, and it's that like faceless hooded figure, and then with this sort of almost Victorian looking motif down there. So anyway, there's that. And then for another one of these little tombstone things, we have this with the nice bat up there, the skulls, and it says, for rent, very small bedroom, neighbors are dead quiet, which I thought was quite funny. And of course, I love a good bat. And it's almost like coffin looking shape, which I thought was very cool. It's this, I'm not sure really what this material is, but it's got like the different sort of like divots and stuff in it, so it gives off that like weathered stone type of look. And then this was the other item from At Home. I think they actually had this last year, but I never saw it come into my store. But this was the other thing that I saw that I was super excited about, that I'm like, oh, I really would like that. And it's this fake candle that it's like the black flame candle. And it has these, like, various actual, some of them at least, like those are elemental symbols. That, I don't think that's actually the symbol for, is it like brimstone or sulfur or something, but it looks pretty similar to it. That's an elemental symbol. What are that's Mars. Elemental symbols. Like, some of these are actually, that one's kind of similar to some symbols of the sun in various cultures. Those are planetary symbols. I recognize that, but I can't remember what that is. That might be a symbol of, like, supposed to be representing the human spirit. Like in Pentacles, where it'll have the, like, the fire. I don't remember which corner is which, but the four elemental symbols, and then there'll be the spirit at the top. I think that's what they use for the spirit symbol. But anyway, I love those, like, medieval woodcuts of the witches. And so it's this, the whole thing is like this medieval woodcut looking design. And there's, like, the fake wax dripping down. But there's, like, the different witches doing various things that are taken from actual medieval woodcuts. There's, like, the sun and, like, the like, devil or imp character up there, again in that medieval woodcut art style. So I thought that this was very cool. It's very, like, alchemist looking, that medieval woodcut style, very mystical. I don't know, you can't really see, I guess that raven's just chilling. It just kind of looks black on camera. It's like, maybe should I rearrange something so you can have something there that you can see, but that's fine. Now for the stuff at Michael's, which I think actually might have been the first stuff I got. Was it? No, I think that these tombstones were the first thing that I got this year. But this was the next thing that I got. So I don't think I've filmed anything at Michael's. Every time I go, there's quite a few people, so I just feel kind of weird about, like, bothering people, you know? But they've started to get out, they're, like, I don't remember what the brand is, but that Spooky Village that's, like, the animated, like, models of, like, the different buildings and stuff. I'm getting that upper lip sweat again. But then they had various different, Lamax, Spooky Town, yeah, it says right on it. But they have these various different pieces, and I was thinking, I want to do a project that has the tombstones, but all the tombstones had very much, like, substantial base on them, so it wouldn't work for my purposes. But I haven't opened these yet, but so we're struggling with the glare a little bit. But they're these coffins, and I have in this casket here, and I have a project that I have planned for these. So we've got those. Where am I going to put this stuff so I know what I've shown? Put that over there. And then, most recently, I was under a time pressure, so I didn't film anything. But, most recently, they've been getting stuff that's, like, the wreath-making area stuff. And there's some little, like, not animated houses. Like, there's one that kind of looked like a pumpkin. There's one that looked a little bit more like a haunted house. Like, the little, I'm not sure what the material is, but that, like, sort of statue-ish material, like, about this big or so. of these spooky houses, and then they have these various little models of things that you can put in the house. So there was one that was like a little candlestick, there was one that was like a little bust of like that veiled lady, like marble statue looking thing. There was a cute one that was like three witches around a cauldron that would be like put out in front of the house. What were some of the other ones? They had some freestanding witch hats. I think you got like 2 in the pack. There were various... Oh, there was a coffin bookshelf. That was a funny one. There was one that was nice that was like a... I guess it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense me recounting them without being able to show you. But there was one that I thought was interesting that was like... It was all white and it was like kind of a Gothic looking... It appeared to be like a mirror, maybe a picture frame, with like a skeleton bust kind of like coming forward out of it. Which I thought about maybe getting that, but I ended up getting just this one, and it's this, in case you can't see it super well with the glare, it's this skeleton in a black coffin, and I have a project I've planned for this, and I thought about maybe also getting the one that was like the skeleton coming forward out of the mirror, but I ended up not getting that one and just getting this. So this for my project as well. I thought I just should go ahead and show this. This isn't actually a Halloween thing, but you wouldn't know it, which I find quite exciting. This was just in the normal, like, I guess it's like the necklace making section at Michael's, like with the different beads and stuff. And there are these, let's see how I can show it so I'm trying to show it close but not get so close that the camera then it's casting a shadow. Let's see, can we just show that? It's trying to focus on my face. But it's these different, like, Gothic Victorian looking charms that look like those charms that like the women would have as like the pins up where they'd have like the high collared ruffly dress top, and then they'd have the pin that would look like this that would be like up there. Those kind of cameo looking pins. I have a project as well planned for this, but they're, like I said, not Halloween specific items, so that was really exciting to see that I had seen these come into store a few like 6 months or so ago. Sometime that was very clearly like, this is not Halloween at all, this is not Halloween coming out early or stuff left over or anything. They've consistently had these, so that was really cool to see, because I haven't seen anything that's like a Gothic looking thing that isn't at all like, oh, well, it's kind of a fantasy thing or something. Like, it's just very much this Gothic Victorian thing that they have. It's like a year-round thing. So, in case it's a little hard to see on camera, there's this, like, torso and hip bone, an anatomical heart. This, which I think this is like a bird, like, head skeleton. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but that's what I think it is. And then this skeletal hand. They're like these necklace pendant type things. And then we have what I think actually was the first thing that I found at Michael's, which is these bat, like, Christmas tree type light things. Alright, here we go. And you put the batteries in these yourself. So, and it's in like a battery pack like this thing. So there's a timer and then there's on and off. So I'll just put it on for now. So it's technically orange light. Let's see, where's the battery pack? Put that down there. it's technically orange light, but it's like this nice sort of, it's not super like just glaringly orange, like it could be kind of like a candle light, which I liked because I'm going to put them on my Christmas tree, but I have it as like a black and red and silver theme, so I didn't want it to be like actually super orange. So it's just kind of this nice, like where it's not like a blinding white color, but it is kind of like a warm, could be kind of considered white-ish color. Like kind of like a candle glow, like I said, which I think adds to kind of that. In my case, what I'm going for is kind of like an oldish look to it, like in more in the time when they would actually have candles on the trees, which is a terrifying prospect. Have candles on your drying out tree. Nothing can possibly go wrong there. But as you can see, that they kind of hang down like this, so when you have it on a tree, you would have the black cord, which is good for me because my tree is black, so it'll blend in nicely, which is another great thing about having it be a Halloween thing, is that the cords tend to be black. But you'd have the black cord would go back into the tree, and then the bats hanging on down on these little slightly separate things will come forward. So you'll be able to have the cord back and then just see these bats. So there they all are. And then there's, so you can get a better look at it. And it's got this cute little sculpting on it. Nice and detailed. What price was this? Does it say on it? I think it was like $12 or something about. Okay, get untangled from this. And then I got, okay, this one was $10. This set of, and these are on like a little tiny cord. These are some little tombstones, and they're lights. Hopefully you can kind of see that. They're quite adorable. I'm hoping I can kind of get a good close-up. Actually, I can just, I can just zoom in with the camera. Maybe I can just show this little guy here. Okay, that's not working. Alright, there you go. I'm struggling to get the thing close enough where you can get a good close-up of it, but then I'm not getting it so close that the camera is blocking the light, casting a shadow. So there they are lit up, and these are a very, like, true white. But, so these are on a very thin sort of cord here, and they are like just directly attached to the thing, which I think is fine for these. So then these can just, and also the cord is like this sort of like fully bendable wire thing. So these you can pretty much do whatever you want with. They're super, like, just, they work for anything. I haven't figured out exactly. I'm assuming I'm just going to put them on my tree. And then it's just an on and off switch. Let's see where to go. I think I'm holding it the wrong way. There we go. It's an optical illusion. I was doing it the wrong way. But anyway. And then for Dollar Tree, they've most recently got in these creepy, ghostly looking flowers that I was seeing online that I thought looked super cool, and I was hoping that they'd have in, and they just recently got them in. So I got them in. I just realized that they had all been technically different kinds of flowers, so I had gotten them in different ones. So there's the dahlia. It looks like this. I think these are my favorite, maybe. These ones where it's this sort of like ghostly, grayish, bluish color, and it's the dahlias. And there's this sort of color in the mum, which I don't really know much about mums, but I thought they looked like a good, almost a little bit ratty looking, like a good ghostly garden flower. And then there's this other color. This is the dahlia again. This sort of like, almost like an old, like ever so slightly like an old stone looking purple gray kind of color. I think that they look nice together. It's very ghostly looking. This, oh yeah, there's the purple in the dahlia again. There's a dahlia. I didn't know what I was going to do exactly with them, so I always want to make sure, and here's a different one. Here's the peony. So I wanted to make sure, because I think I'm just going to have them, if I'm doing like a ghost look, then I'll just have these as the flowers that are out. So I wanted to make sure that I had enough and enough variety that I could have them like all be out. Because I figured out at some point that like I'm always worried about getting too much stuff. So then I'll not get as much. Oh, and here's mum in this purple, which I think is quite nice looking. I've in the past done things where I'll like just get one of the clusters of flowers because I'm worried about like getting too much stuff. And then I figure out that, well, if you just have one, you can't really do anything with it. So it's actually worse than having none, because then you have it taking up space. Oops. But you still can't actually effectively use it for anything. You can't really decorate with it, and you can't really, like, I also like to use it in backgrounds of, like, photos and stuff. And you can't really maneuver it well if you just have one. So I figured out you have to get enough that you can actually do something with them. So and then I was worried about getting, this whole video is just me explaining my anxieties. And then I was worried about, like, because there were different types, like, I wanted to have a variety of the ones that look different ways and stuff, because this is a unique sort of color, I think. I haven't seen anything like this before. So there's the ghost flowers. So I almost forgot, from Dollar Tree, I also got 2 of these interesting, like, kind of, they're like black on the ends, but then as it goes down further, they have this purple in them, roses. Because if it's just solid black, I figured out, you don't really see that they're roses. So I thought that that was clever. Of course, I would personally prefer if they were red instead of the purple, but I think that they're quite lovely, the purple. And there's almost like a little bit of blue as well in there. There's really nice ombre look. And then I also, for good measure, because you always need an all black one, I got an all black one. And of course, as well, like the leaves even are all black, which makes me happy. I love a all black plant thing like this. Like specifically an all black flower thing. Like the ones that are just the plants, I think they lack a little bit of character if they're just all black. But like when it's the flowers are black and then the stems are black, I think then you just kind of, you're just looking at the structure of like the flower and the stem and the leaves and stuff, and it almost is like just seeing a silhouette of it. I think it's quite striking. Alright, so now we're done with the Dollar Tree stuff. And then I think this is the last item as of now. Well, it's multiple items. So, this thing that I just was at home today, but I was under a time pressure, so unfortunately, even though they did have some new things, I didn't end up videoing any of it. But these black Venus flytraps at $4.99 for each of these, with the red middles, which I had seen on the website, and I was waiting excitedly for when these come in, and I finally was able to see them and get them. Obviously, black and red is what I like to do. Oh. And speaking of that, I just came across another item from At Home that is a plant that I'm like, speaking of that, didn't I have another item? Yeah, so we'll talk about that too. But, like, I love how it's the black and then the creepy red in there. It could work for, like, even, like, a vampire thing. Like, they're vampire plants. Even, if you wanted, you could even paint their little teeth white. But usually the Venus flytrap stuff is black and purple. So I was excited to see that they had one that was black and red. And then also for $1.99, there's this little tin pick that, let's see if I can get an angle where there's not glare so you can see it. This very cool tin pick of a toothed man-eating plant. I think I already said this is from At Home, but all of this stuff I'm showing now is from At Home. So then you can put them together, and you have your, like, creepy man-eating plant bouquet, which I think is super cool. I really like this, like, carnivorous plant stuff. I think that's really cool. So there's that. And then this great cauldron with a handle. This was $14.99. I have my receipt still in there. Put that back in. But I have a cauldron. It's not in here right now. But it doesn't have, it has those little handles, nice accent I suddenly acquired, handles on the side, but it doesn't have a, why is the only word my brain can come up with right now is strap. That's not a strap, that's a handle. There we go. There's the word. I'm like, what's the word? The other one doesn't have a handle, and I always miss not having a handle. And also, the other one is like real crockery, so it's scratchable. This one seems like it's less scratchable. It's more like a tin type material. So, yeah, I'm like, should I get this because I already have a cauldron? But this one, I think it will come in handy a lot. There's cases where it's like, oh, this would be handy if I had a thing that I could carry, like, and things where I want a cauldron, but it's like I really want one that I can carry, and like obviously you could hang this if you wanted. Like you could use it to, I'm not gonna put this metal one in there, I'll scratch it, but like you could use it as like to put your plants, like, I don't know about real plants, but like your fake plants in, if you didn't want it to just be like, just be using it as a cooking pot looking thing. I guess I'll be holding this for the end of the video. Yeah, I think that's everything I've gotten so far. So, just making sure. Yeah. So anyway, it's really exciting that Halloween stuff is coming in so early this year. Just like, because it's super hot here, so like, just seeing the spooky stuff coming in, it's breaking that up a bit, and like the stuff at home is very like there's a lot of like good like even with this was the smallest item out of all the stuff they had, but they have a bunch of really cool large like Gothic cemetery, like dark all year round, um, like churchyard looking things. So like if you have a yard or like a front of a house that you're putting stuff out with or for, like there's or a garden or whatnot, like there's a bunch of really cool stuff like that, and just a lot of like nice sort of like there's the classic Halloween stuff, but then there's like more that just dark aesthetic stuff, which I personally really like and think is fun to see out. So that seeing that coming out has been real fun. So anyway, hope that you enjoyed seeing these different items, and thanks for watching. Until next time, stay spooky.